everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this cool snake belly bracelet. Today I am using 2mm Delica beads. I have got a 12mm lobster clasp, 4mm jump ring, and a wire guard. I'm going to be using regular old white polyester thread, conditioned with beeswax. I'll leave a link to the video where I show you how to do that in the description. As usual, I'm working with a big eye needle. You're also going to need your sharp pair of scissors and a pair of needle nose pliers. And as always, this part's optional, but I am gonna have my handy dandy jump ring opener. I love this thing, so of course you're gonna see me using it. I have threaded 2 lengths of thread onto my big eye needle for extra strength, and so I'm going to start off by picking up 4 of my beads. I am going to tie those 4 beads into a loop, making a little square shape, and leave myself at least like a 6 to 8 inch tail. I am going to double knot it because I really want to make sure that this loop is not going to open up on us later. Once I have that tied up really tight, I am going to thread back up 2 of the beads so that my working thread is pointing up and my tail thread is pointing down. I am going to pick up 2 beads and thread them down through the bead to the right hand side of the one I am coming out of. Then I am going to thread back up through the 2 top beads on the left hand side. And then I'm going to pick up 2 more beads and thread them down through the top right bead. You have to be sure to pull these really tight because nobody wants a loose, sad bracelet. And then thread up through the top 2 beads on the left hand side. And you want to make sure that when you start off a new row, your thread's always on the same side. So if you start off with the thread going up on the left side, you want to make sure you start every row with your thread on the left side. Because if you drop your work and accidentally flip it around or something and start working from the other side, it may look okay from the front and the back, but it's really going to look weird from the side of our work, and I'll show you what I mean a little bit later. And so we're going to keep repeating this pattern. Add 2 beads, down through the right 1, up through the left 2, add 2 beads, down through the right 1, up through the left 2, and we are going to continue this same stitch up through the entire bracelet right up until we get ready to tie off. And like the herringbone design, this design has the beads a little bit offset to each other, but instead of showing from the front, they look offset from the side. And so if you're not doing your stitches very tight, you're not going to see that catty corner look very well. And I will be able to show you what I'm talking about when I get a few more rows done so that you can really see the pattern at play. So I'm not going to make you watch me do a zillion rows of this same stitch, but I will be checking in with you to show you how the bracelet is progressing along the way. So here is what the bracelet looks like once you have a few rows under your belt. And if I turn it off to the side, you can see what I'm talking about with the beads being sort of catty corner to each other. They're a little offset, all in the same direction. And that's why it's so important for your stitches to be tight and so important for you to be working with your thread starting on the same side for every row. So I'm just going to keep doing this until I have almost the length that I desire for my bracelet. And now that my bracelet is almost the length that I desire it to be, remember the lobster clasp and the jump ring and the wire guard are going to add a little bit of length too. It's time to start tying off our bracelet. So I'm going to pick up my lobster clasp and I'm going to thread it down through the bead on the right. And then thread it up through the bead on the left, back through the lobster clasp again, and down through the bead on the right. You can do this, one or two more times if you want that lobster clasp to be really, really secure. Because you can never have too secure of a bracelet, okay? We do not want our lobster clasp coming off when we're wearing it around town or something, losing all the pieces of the bracelet. That's no fun. I'm going to flip my work so that I'm going through the beads on the left-hand side, even though they were originally on the right. Now that we're tying off, it doesn't matter which way the bracelet's going. And I'm going to thread straight down through a few beads. And what you're going to see me do is go ahead and put my needle behind the thread bridge of 2 beads, pull the thread until there's just a little loop left, thread my needle back through that loop, and pull it tight to make a little knot in there. And if you pull the thread really tight, the knot will disappear into a bead and you won't even know it's there. And then I'm going to thread down through another few beads and do my little loop trick to make another knot. Thread down through a few more beads after that, and I can cut it off. You need to do at least 2 of these knots. You can do more if you are really worried about it coming apart, but 2 is usually enough. And then make sure you thread straight down through a few other beads after your last knot so that you can make sure when you cut your thread it's not too close to the last knot you made. And then once I think it's secure enough, I'm going to give it a little snippety snip. And then our lobster clasp side is finished and we can go on to the other side. And we're going to finish off the other side the same way, except for that instead of a lobster clasp, we're putting a wire guard there. So in order to add on the wire guard, we're going to go up through one leg of the wire guard, down through the other leg of the wire guard, and then back through our beads. And I like to do this at least twice. You can do it more if you like, so that it's really reinforced. And when I'm happy with the amount of times that I've gone through the wire guard, we're just gonna make our way down through the beads, using our little loop trick to make a knot, down through some more beads, make another knot, down through some more beads. And I've just been calling this the snake belly stitch because it just reminds me of the scales on the belly of a snake. If this is an actual stitch with like an actual name, let me know. I did peyote stitch for probably about 10 years before I knew that it was a real stitch that had a name. So if you know the name of this stitch, drop it in the comments below. and then do a little snippety snip. Okay, so now that both sides of our bracelet are tied off, we're gonna go ahead and put on our jump ring. I've got my handy dandy jump ring opener here. I'm going to take my needle nose pliers and open up the jump ring. Then I'm going to slide my wire guard on there. And then we're going to close it right back up. And there we have our cute little bracelet all finished up. It's got that really fun offset side profile. And here are some examples of some of the other colors I've made this design in. Got that interesting little side profile going on, and they really look like a snake's belly. And if you end up making this, tag me so I can see it. I'll leave my social media links in the description. I hope this tutorial was helpful, and if it was, leave a like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Thanks for watching, and okay, bye!